For those that live in the South, it's time to start getting ready for Hurricane Ian. This is serious. They're saying, I think it's going to be a Category 3. The National Guard is being deployed. Evacuations have already begun in Tampa. And a lot of warnings are going out. So considering the rapid increase in strength and the direction this storm is going, I think it's important to give you guys an update on what's currently happening and what y'all should be doing if you are in the Florida area now. I got to say, we got a lot of friends down in Florida because a lot of people have fled to Florida. And now, lo and behold, Florida is in the path of a major hurricane. We can see here, this is the map for Google. I want to show this first and foremost. You know, normally I would prefer to do like some opinion and commentary on some of the news stuff. But at the very least, I think, you know, we want to try and help keep people alive. And so covering what's going on with this hurricane, I think at the very least can do that. Though I can't imagine it would get as much traffic as, say, doing a video about escalating crime rates and the Russian gas line sabotage. But no, I hope I can use this platform to try and give you guys some information that I'm reading. Just take it seriously. Some people are saying they're going to stick around and wait through it. You know, I don't know. Look, I've been through some hurricanes. I think people definitely overhype what a hurricane could be. But this is a Category 3 coming right in off the Gulf and slamming into Tampa. So it's probably going to get really, really bad. Here's the projected forecast so far. Currently, Hurricane Ian is over Cuba, and it's going to make landfall in Tampa Thursday around 2 a.m. So you have a couple of days to prepare for this. Already in Miami, we are seeing flooding, winds, rain. I got a video sewer cap popping off. The National Guard is being deployed. I just hope everybody takes it seriously because even beyond this, it is going to be moving up through the South. It's going to go over Atlanta. Now, as it makes its way over Florida, into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Virginia, it will be substantially weaker. I am not a meteorologist, but I think people should take this stuff seriously because I've seen way too many people not, at least throughout my life. But here's the news. The National Guard is mobilized as Florida gets ready for Hurricane Ian. 300,000 people are evacuated in Tampa as monster storm ramps up to major Category 3 and 125 mile an hour winds lash Cuba before it is due to pass west of Florida Keys today. The Hurricane Ian strengthened to a Category 3 storm and made landfall in western Cuba this morning. After barreling through Cuba, the hurricane forecast to hit Florida as a Category 4 storm with 140 mile an hour winds. Officials in Florida have declared a state of emergency over the strengthening storm, warning residents to leave. I believe I have a tweet here from Christina Pishaw. She is the spokesperson for Rapid Response Director for Ron DeSantis. Tampa evacuation zones. If you cannot read the markings on the picture of the map and you aren't sure if you're in an evacuation zone, visit Hillsborough County site at floridadisaster.org/know. That's capital KNOW, which has zones for the entire state. So we can see here, I mean, look, it's pretty serious. There's probably going to be a major storm surge. And all of these areas in red, I believe, are expected to see 74 to 85 mile an hour winds and potential tide heights of up to, I think is that 11? It's not 11 feet, is it? Is that inches? Which one's feet or inches? I don't know if it's like the single or the double apostrophe. Hopefully, it's feet. Okay, it's feet. 11 feet. Dude, seriously, you guys take this one seriously, for real. All right, so thousands of locals were evacuated from across Cuba, with officials in the Sunshine State warning residents to get out now. After barreling its way through Cuba, the hurricane is forecast to strengthen to a Category 4. 11, this is crazy. We're talking about in Zone C, it could be up to 22, up to 31. That can't be right. 31 feet? That's what it says. Potential tide heights could be up to 31 feet. That's massive. 38 in some areas. I see. So let's see. I don't think it's going to be that high. I think the water will have to get that high to reach those areas. So if the storm surges to around 11, it's going to hit these areas in red. I could be wrong about that. But then as the elevation goes up, as you move further away from the coastline, it's going to require a higher tide elevation to hit those areas, which it may do, I believe. This is crazy, though. It's saying the wind velocity can be 156 miles an hour and over in some of these areas. I'll just put it this way. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know for sure. If they tell you to evacuate, y'all should evacuate. They say a surge of up to 10 feet of ocean water and 10 inches of rain is predicted to drench the Tampa Bay area with as much as 15 inches in isolated areas, enough water to inundate coastal communities Terrified residents have been desperately digging huge trenches to redirect floodwaters from their homes, while others have stripped supermarket shelves bare of water and essentials. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I genuinely mean this. This is important, and this is why I've shot this stuff out. Safeandreadymeals.com. If you are in Florida right now, sorry, this ain't going to help you. Safeandreadymeals.com is a sponsored spot. And it's emergency food buckets. You can get a 1 month, 30-day emergency food kit. It's for one person, I believe, 2011 calories per day. Can stay safe for up to 25 years. Look, if you got a family, each person's going to need one of these. It's food. So here's what I tell people. Sometimes it rains, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. People are digging trenches and they're raiding the supermarkets. That means supermarkets' shelves are running bare. There's photos popping up already. I don't know if I have the photos here. Look at this. Here you go. Bare supermarket shelves in St. Petersburg store on Monday as grocery stores across the state report being sold out on various vital supplies as Hurricane Ian looms in the state. This is why I shout this stuff out, not because the apocalypse is coming, but because sometimes hurricanes hit, especially if you're in Florida or in the Gulf. Here's what it means. You don't got to rush to the store in a panic. You probably should still go and try and buy supplies, but they're selling out of food. The stuff lasts 25 years. You buy it, you put it in a closet, you forget about it. You get one for each of a member of your family, and then for 25 years, you don't got to worry about it. In the event you get a hurricane like this, you're going to be substantially better off. Chance favors the prepared. I want you all to be safe and be ready. They say it usually arrives within 4 days via UPS. Too late for those that are in the path of the storm. But for anybody else, consider this. There are earthquakes. There are major floods. There are storms. Maybe you're in a spot that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, I hope people take this stuff seriously. Safeandreadymeals.com. And here's what happens. In the event you never actually need to use it in an emergency, you can crack it open and eat it because it's food. So it's just always good. It's like, unless you sit around for 25 years, it ain't going bad and you're going to be able to eat it. But the reality is you should have food and water because right now, and this one really grinds my gears, man. People are rushing to the store right now with news of a Category 4 storm about to slam into Tampa. And now they're going. I get it. Everybody waits until the last minute. That blows my mind. Think about what this means for any other natural disaster or any other political conflict. People do nothing until they're staring down the barrel of a gun. In this instance, the barrel of a hurricane. Y'all didn't. Okay, fine, whatever. You do all your grocery shopping at the last minute, and then you'll be in the parking lot in line, and you're going to see two people fighting over the last can of beans because they don't have food. That's why I'm just saying, I'm not telling you to be a prepper, although maybe with the political climate in this country, maybe now's the time to actually start being a prepper. I'm just saying, if you don't have your emergency supplies, good luck when it comes to a storm coming down. Because if you think you're going to go out in the last minute and find what you need, you're probably not. These empty store shelves, I guarantee you it means there is a massive number of people that don't have anything. People who rush to I'll tell you this. I'll tell you. When Fukushima, when the reactor got hit, earthquake, tsunami, I was in Los Angeles. It was crazy. And so my friend immediately said, maybe we should buy some potassium iodide. Potassium iodide is a tablet you take that replenishes the iodine in your system into your thyroid so that your body doesn't absorb radioactive iodine and use that in your thyroid, potentially causing cancer or other complications. So we decide, okay, as soon as the reactor hit, as soon as the news broke, there's a nuclear reactor getting hit, sold out everywhere. No joke. We went around all the different pharmacies and they said, sold out, sorry, we don't have it. I was surprised. I was like, I thought we were the smart ones. I thought we were the ones who were paying attention to the news, who knew what you need to get in the event of radiation. Potassium iodide. Nope. People went around, and it wasn't just like a guy went in and said, I'll take 1 box of potassium iodide. No, people went around and bought all of it. And then we saw people trying to resell it. That's a reality. They exploit those who are not prepared. Now, to be fair, I'm not sure anybody could have been prepared for a nuclear plant disaster in Japan. Nobody saw that coming. For storms and stuff and emergency food and water, everybody can see it coming. It happens all the time. We have hurricane season. Take a look at this. Bare supermarket shelves. Home Depot customer waits to get her hands on propane tank. People are buying wood paneling, protect your windows. Yeah, man. Take this stuff seriously. You know, the scary thing is you often hear about deaths in hurricanes. It's not like you'll see like 1 million dead or 100,000, but there could be dozens. Yo, it could be you. You never know. You could be the smart person who did everything right, and then your window blows out and a rock hits you in the head. You don't know. Take this stuff seriously. So, and I always want to. Look, there's a lot of political news going on right now, and part of me is like, I'm not a guy who does weather reports. Like, what am I really supposed to say about this? But I hope a segment like this can just get y'all to take it seriously. If you've got loved ones in Florida, just seriously take it seriously. I'll put it this way. If you could buy a lottery ticket, and in the event you won those lottery numbers, you died, would you buy that lottery ticket? The answer is no, of course not. What's the point? There's no upside, right? That's what I tell people when it comes to stories like this. Maybe the chance of you dying in this storm is like 1 in a million. Is that worth taking the risk? No, man. We've got too many good friends who've moved down to Florida, who are running businesses down there, businesses we care about. I got a lot of friends who moved down there because everybody loves Ron DeSantis. That's why I think it's important we do a video. I put out a segment. I tell you guys, just take it seriously, man. Because with the election coming up, the last thing we need is Florida being, hurt by this. But I suppose I'll put it this way. Yo, to all the leftists who mock the idea of being prepared, and they do. They make articles and they say, haha, look at Tim shouting out emergency food. Well, these storms are going to negatively impact people who don't pay attention and liberals. The more conservative types are probably armed and they probably have emergency food and water already because they watch videos like this and they're like, you don't need to dig a trench, dig a bunker and fill it with 30 years worth of beans, but you can have some supplies and be ready for it. But what we see from the left consistently is they mock the idea. Here, let's take a look at this map. Hurricane Ian watches and warnings. We've got in Tampa a warning. Tropical storm warnings for Fort Pierce, Fort Myers, Orlando. Tropical storm watch for the Miami area. Miami isn't in the direct path, but you're going to get hit already. I think we have a video right here. Already Miami. Take a look at this. The storm's still in Cuba. And you've got water bursting out of a sewer. That's crazy stuff, man. Take a look at that. Man. I lived in Miami for a little while, and there's already a lot of flooding problems as it is. So to see this now, and Miami's not even in the direct path, you're gonna get hit. It's gonna have an impact. Hurricane watch in effect for Pinellas County. We've got, look at this, huge queues snake back for miles on the I-75 south of Wildwood in Gainesville, Florida. Yo, take evacuation seriously. I was in a couple category 1s. And we didn't evacuate, but that's because we were prepared. We had we had canned food, we had emergency supplies, and this was Irene and Sandy. I think Irene was in Virginia and Sandy was in New York. New York flooded. It was like 3 or 4 feet of water on the Lower East Side. It was crazy to see windows that were kind of elevated blown out from the storm surge. A lot of people truly underestimated what a storm could do. Because here's what happens. The hurricane starts rolling in. And here's what happened in New York. You could hear this humming because the wind was going over the buildings. But in the city itself, down on the ground, the wind wasn't able to navigate through these buildings, so it was mostly fine. I'm standing down by the New York Stock Exchange when all of a sudden, and very, very quickly, water starts rising up. I filmed all this. It actually might be on my other YouTube channel. I'm not sure which channel it's on. And water is just slowly filling up, and you can see it getting several feet high. The winds of the storm were pushing the surface water. This is what happens. And because the winds don't stop, the surface water just keeps being pushed forward and then surges up onto land at high elevations. The building we were in, water burst up from the ground. It was crazy to watch. We go downstairs and it was a data center. And then all of a sudden we see water just burst up through the floor. So panic, of course. There was a generator on top of the building. And they were like, the power goes out, and they were like, or it wasn't like backup. I think there was backup power, but you couldn't use the elevator. And they were like, who's going to climb 35 floors to the top of this building and then climb to the top on a ladder during a hurricane to shut the generator off before it blows up? And we were like, ugh. So somebody had to do it. I climbed for fun. I didn't go on top of the building. I climbed the 35 flights of stairs, and it was brutal running up, and they got to stop. And you're like, ugh. 35, no joke. Getting to the top and then hearing that hum on top of this building, it was crazy. On the Lower East Side, the surge came in and water flooded up to like 3 or 4 feet. People are posting videos, these hipsters, and they're like, look how bad it can get, man. So we got this. People are posting video going the other direction. Check this out. Storm clouds are seen as Hurricane Ian approaches St. Petersburg, Florida on September 26th. This is crazy, man, because it's not even there yet. Take a look at this. As of Tuesday at 2 p.m., it will be over Cuba. Okay, it's not going to hit Tampa or Florida until Thursday. It's going to make landfall Thursday at 2 a.m. Yet even still, it is so massive. Parts of it have already gone over Florida. Go away, Ian. Last night on Timcast IRL, people were like, Ian, use your crystals. Make it stop. I think everybody's going to be okay. I think the cool thing about the modern media and channels like this is that we're able to put out videos. We're able to give people a warning several days in advance. And so this is the big important thing right here, man. The important thing that you guys pay attention to where this is at. Now we're paying attention because we're up here in the Washington, D.C. area. Sunday at 2 a.m., it's going to be a depression they're forecasting, which means even Nashville is going to see a major storm for this. So I'm telling you, while you can, take it seriously. If you live in those areas, you might still be able to get like emergency supplies, though I don't think you will need it for this storm. I'm just saying, dude, sometimes it rains. The entire state of South Carolina is going to be over this, and it's probably going to be a storm or depression. I'm not entirely sure if we have the full forecast here. Let me see. So this is just, look at this, man. Another empty grocery store. You can see there's some water bottles left. They say as people stock up on items. This is September 26th in St. Petersburg. Here we go. So I don't know if we have what the forecast plan is. We can see right now it's very, very intense. There's other storm pockets, depressions. Miami's being hit by a heavy storm right now. So let's see. Okay, here we go. Saturday early a.m. So let's track this. Friday morning, so around Saturday, it's going to be over Georgia. And by then, the winds are only going to be about 35 miles an hour. So that's good news. And it's going to reach Atlanta, Charlotte, and Savannah with 30-mile-an-hour winds. Not apocalyptic, still very, very serious. Here I am doing my weather report. As you can see here, the depression, the storm will reach 35 miles an hour. No, man, I'm mostly concerned about situations where people could be seriously harmed by this. And I want you guys to stay safe. So, you know, as we do news and commentary, I will tell you all to please pay attention. Check this out. We have the peak storm surge forecast. A storm surge of up to 10 feet of ocean water and 10 inches of rain is predicted to drench the Tampa Bay area, with as much as 15 inches in isolated areas, enough water to inundate coastal communities. So the storm surge is what you got to pay attention to. We can see here in Tampa, it's going to be between 5 and 10 feet. St. Augustine up to 2 to 4 feet. Miami seems to be okay. The Keys are going to get hit by 2 to 4 feet. Naples, 3 to 5. We've got 5 to 8 feet here just south of Tampa. Yo, take it seriously, man. Check it out. Clearwater, Florida's Gulf Coast. Residents are lining up to fill up sandbags. Look at this big old piles of sand. Sandbags to try and divert the floods. People are building trenches. NASA have also been forced to delay the launch of its Artemis rocket again because of the hurricane barreling towards the coast, meaning they will not be able to attempt another launch for at least 3 weeks. Oh, that one really sucks. They keep having to delay the launch of the Artemis going to the moon because of various problems. That's cool, dude. That's a massive rocket. I'm excited to see it. More photos of people getting ready. Here you go, man. This is stuff I'm talking about. Okay, I'm not a meteorologist. I can't tell you about that. What I can tell you is about people. And here's what happens. Look at this. Costco. No regular water, out of stock. Here's what I recommend. Glass. We've got bottled water because you always want to have emergency water. In fact, I'm going to order some emergency water right now. So we have big shipments of bottled water come in because we have so many guests and employees that people drink water all the time. We should probably just get a water cooler. That's probably a good idea. And we have a double filtration system, 2 9-stage filters. It goes through twice, adds minerals back. But you're going to go to the stores and you're going to find, man, you're not going to be able to get any water. I recommend against plastic bottles. I'm not a fan of them. We have a bunch of glass bottles we bought. We fill them up. The other thing you can do is, we used to get this advice in Chicago. I don't know if it pertains to Florida. Fill your bathtub up. Fill up your bathtub and plug it, because you're going to be able to get, what is that, like 50 to 100? I don't know how big your bathtub is, 50 gallons or something. Fill up your bathtub, plug the drain, seal it nice and tight. because after the storm hits, there may not be water. And you can get that if we're looking a couple days out and you've got access to fresh water, that's what they say you're supposed to do. In Chicago, when big storms would come, they would say to fill up your bathtub, because if water gets knocked out for some reason, or there's a pipe burst and the pressure drops, you will survive. You need water. We got more of this, man. More public spokesperson says, as we continue to monitor Ian, Publix locations may limit quantities of items such as water to best serve the majority of our customers. Take a look at this, man. More shortages, more supplies being drained. This is, I guess this is Publix. So we're already seeing peanut butter, jelly, and baby formula. I think the good news is a lot of this is being sold because people are buying it. But if you're late to the party and you're last in line, you ain't getting it. Price gouging for items has been reported across the state, with the state's attorney general issuing a stern warning against the practice. You know, I'll say one last thing on this about price gouging. I'm not completely opposed to it. What I am opposed to is people buying up all the supplies and then reselling it. That's bad. But if someone buys like a crate for a pallet of bottled water and drives it into a disaster and says it costs this much, that's a good thing. Some people are saying that, like, oh, you're ripping off people who need it. Like, no, dude. If I had to spend $500 to drive down here, and I had to spend, $30 per case, so I'm making up that $500 by selling each bottle for more than they normally cost. That's not price gouging. That's called the disaster economy, and that's something people need to pay attention to. When we've often gone down to cover news in disasters, the one thing you need to understand is what's called the disaster economy, where everything costs substantially more, is extremely hard to get, and you got to be prepared for this. Look at these long lines, man. I'm telling you, this is why you want to have supplies in advance. This is why I shout out safe and ready meals. This is why I take this stuff seriously, because bad storms could hit you wherever you are. Wherever you are, there could be an earthquake. You're not in a fault zone, a fault area. I get it. You're not in a storm area. Many people are in areas that are typically fine. I'm just saying, you're in Florida, man. You're on the Gulf. You're on the coasts. This stuff happens. Virginia got hit. I was in Irene. New York got hit. Now we just had up in like Montauk and Long Island, there was big storm surges. I'm just telling you, man, you buy one of these things, keep yourself safe. And I think y'all should take the warnings of the government here seriously. Governor Ron DeSantis has waived weight restrictions for trucks carrying essential goods, with 2 million meals and 1 million gallons of water standing by, ready to be distributed. I think he's doing a good job so far, so let's see it, man. I don't like doing segments talking about the weather. I got to be completely honest, but I really do just want everybody to be safe. And this storm's coming in. We got a couple days notice. That's good. Please take it seriously. Pick up your supplies, get what you can while you can, buy water if you haven't, evacuate if you're in an evacuation zone. And I wish you guys all the best. Stay safe. To all of our friends down in Florida, we've got staff down in Florida. We've got a lot of friends down in Florida. We're big fans of DeSantis. I hope you guys will be okay. There's going to be a lot of damage after this, I can only imagine. So let's see. Right now we got a big election happening. Ron, I think, is going to be able to do a good job and get the supplies in and do what needs to be done to help the people of Florida after this. And so let's make sure everybody does a good job. Everybody stay safe, man. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.